I'm also a Pixel fanboy. We are not fighting, right? I am just telling you what I've experienced, so you don't experience it. So I owe you guys an apology. In my previous video where I talked about Google Pixel and getting it in Nigeria, I wanted to fit all that information into 60 seconds. And because of that, I didn't really go into details. I didn't give example. I didn't really show you guys much. But this is a longer version of that video. And the video is basically for those people who are considering buying a Google Pixel or who already use a Google Pixel or are looking to create with Google Pixel in Nigeria. Now, this is my Pixel 4a. It's cracked now. I've had this, since the COVID period. So the Pixel 4a is my first Google Pixel device. I think in December of 2022 or so, it fell face flat in the kitchen and the screen completely shattered. You know, it's shattered now. And before then, the battery wasn't really lasting long anymore. So I haven't fixed it since then, but I'm still hoping to fix it because I really like it. Shooting pictures with this device was a big deal for me at the time before, it spoiled. Luckily for me, all the pictures were being backed up to Google Drive or Google Photos rather. But yeah, all the pictures were backed up online and I can see them, but I can't use the device anymore. So I decided, I was going to get another Pixel. So I later got a Pixel 7 Pro. The 7 Pro is what I'm currently using to shoot this video, and I've used it to shoot so many other videos. I think the only time I've shot videos with other devices was maybe when I was testing other devices. I've shot with a Samsung in Ghana because I was testing a Samsung device. I've shot with an iPhone 16 Pro Max, because I was also testing that as well. But majorly, I shoot with a Google Pixel, pictures and videos. Now, with that in mind, one of the questions that come up a lot is if I am going to buy the latest Pixel device. And my answer is usually no. And people ask me, how far now? Why you don't want to upgrade? I don't want to upgrade because I feel like I can do more with my device, than what I am currently doing with the Google Pixel. And I've talked about this, before in my previous video. The very first issue I have with Google Pixel in Nigeria is the 5G. If you're browsing on your phone now and maybe you're doing hotspot to a Mac or Windows, or you're just browsing with the phone, you'd notice that you will not really get the same speed with somebody who is using a phone that has 5G. The Google Pixel device doesn't have 5G in Nigeria. They don't have the infrastructure for that in Nigeria. If you use the phone in other places, maybe somewhere in the UK or a different country, you will have 5G on the device, right? But I've used it in Ghana, Togo, Benin, and a bunch of other places in Africa, but there's no 5G on the Google Pixel. Again, they don't have the infrastructure for it. And this is not something that I discovered alone. I've checked forums online. Even the guy that sold my phone to me said that, he also noticed that at some point. So if the person using a Samsung, and I'm always pointing out Samsung because for some reason, Samsung is a good competitor to Pixel and iPhone as well. Because if I mention iPhone now, some of you will vex and say, oh, he's saying I should buy an iPhone. No, I am not saying you should buy an iPhone. You don't have to buy an iPhone. There are other devices in Nigeria that actually have 5G. But if you're using a 5G device, any latest device from the last 2 years that has 5G, if you do a speed test on it, on the same network, you notice that the 5G is actually faster than your regular 4G. If there is 5G in that area that you're using the phone. So it's one of my problems with the Google Pixel, right? The other thing is the whole video stability thing. And before you say, oh, they fixed the video stability thing on later versions, I've seen later versions. Let's not go there. When it comes to taking pictures, the Pixel is really good. Pixel captures light. Pixel captures night light as well, right? Compared to Samsung and iPhone. Pixel is really, really good for pictures. But when it comes to shooting videos, especially 4K videos, you cannot even begin to compare it to the latest Samsung and the latest, iPhone. You can't compare the latest Pixel, to those. So for videos, Samsung and iPhone is more stable. Both of them are more stable compared to shooting videos on a Pixel. This is also something that I've tested. So there is that as well. A lot of the emergency services that you usually use, like the car crash detection that you usually use on the Pixel in other countries, will not work in Nigeria. So it's little things like that. And some people will say, oh yeah, I know these things and I'm still going to buy it. That's fine. That's okay. Right? But the goal of this video is for people who are looking to create, who are looking to do more with their phones, to really get to know more about the devices before they go ahead and buy, right? And again, the question comes up where people are like, okay, so which one you won't buy? And I will always say that I'm going for either a Samsung or an iPhone. So if you're pained, if you're angry that, he's endorsing, Samsung and iPhone, don't be. For pictures, Pixel is okay, but I would always, for video shooting, I would always go with, the Samsung or the iPhone. So that's my thoughts and opinion on this. There are so many other things you'll probably be able to do with a Pixel outside of Nigeria than in Nigeria. The VPN service doesn't work. You have to install another one. And again, I could go on. I could list so many things and you tell me, oh, we know about this already. That's fine. I'm also a Pixel fanboy. We're not fighting, right? I am just telling you what I've experienced so you don't experience it. So, that's it. That's really the update I have for you guys. If you like videos like this, like the video, hit that subscribe button. If you don't, that's fine. But yeah.